My name is Mitral Kozai, and I'm the Executive Director for Sahar Education. I have my team here with me tonight, and hopefully we'll have our one of our former students and our instructor joining us later. I spoke with them a few hours ago. They confirmed that they will be joining in, but because they are in Afghanistan, it's 6:30 a.m. for them, and there are usually internet connectivity issues. Hopefully, they won't run into that today and they will be able to join us. And if not, we still have updates from partners to give you all. And I really hope to keep this interactive, to answer as many questions as we can, and to hear from you all as well. I'll pass it on to my colleague Ali to introduce herself, and then we'll move on to Shagufa, and we will go from there.
Thank you, Mitra. So thank you everyone who is here. My name is Ali Renar. I joined Sahar only in mid-May. So yeah, I'm pretty new to what they're doing, but I can say that I'm really amazed by what they managed to do, what we managed to do at this point, with so little and with the situation as it is in Afghanistan. Because when I tell people what I do now, what I work for, and what we're accomplishing, they always say, how is that possible? How are you managing to do this? And I think that that's one of the reasons why we wanted to have this meeting today, was to kind of share with all of you who are interested to hear how that is possible. And for me, I joined Sahar because I really believe that if all women do not have equal opportunities, then none of us are truly free. So I want to start with those who have the least amount of opportunities. And I think that those in Afghanistan are definitely the ones who are being pushed down the most. And Shugufa, if you want to go next. Yes.
Sure. Hi, everyone. My name is Shugufa Amini, and I work as a program manager at Sahar. I've been working with Sahar almost now 4 years, past 4 years and 5 years. So I mostly my work is with our partners on the ground, and I will later let you. I will later in my slides explain like how things are possible and in Afghanistan. So yeah, that will be in our presentation.
Thank you, Shagufa. So the work that Shagufa and I do here is very personal to us. We are both from Afghanistan. We were born and for the most part raised in Afghanistan as well. We both have the same experience of getting an education under the Taliban when the Taliban took over Afghanistan the first time. And to see history repeat again and to see another generation of women go through the same challenges is disheartening. But at the same time, the resilience that these girls and women are showing is what keeps us motivated and what keeps us really working towards our mission of providing girls and women with the opportunity to get an education and to help them build peaceful and thriving communities. I am going to go ahead and start with some country updates. I will share my screen and I will give more information about what's happening in Afghanistan. I normally do it differently when I give country updates to our board members and also when I do it at different meetings for our donors. I usually try to bring facts from Afghanistan and what's going on. That's usually the updates that you hear on the news. I am going to do that tonight, but also I want us to focus more on how women in Afghanistan are defying the Taliban, and I will share a few stories as we go on this presentation. I am going to look this way because that's where my main screen is, but I'm still looking at you in another way. So that's the map of Afghanistan. This Kabul is the capital city. That's where I was born and raised for the most part. I came to the US in 2018 as a Fulbright scholar to pursue my master's degree, and education is what changed my life. And everything that I am today, I owe it to the opportunities that my family and my community made sure I have to get an education. And that's exactly what we are trying to do here at Sahar for the girls and women of Afghanistan. Today, unfortunately, it has been 658 days since girls in Afghanistan are banned from secondary education beyond grade 6. It has also been 164 days since the Taliban banned women from attending universities and working with local and international NGOs. The Taliban's supreme leader recently, just a few days ago, ordered for all of the beauty salons to be closed, and the justification provided is the services that is provided in these beauty salons are against the Islamic Sharia or Islamic teachings. It's worth mentioning that beauty salons were one of the very last venues where women could come together not only to get the services, but also to socialize and form communities and interact with one another. So now that being closed on top of the parks, public spaces being closed for women is just adding up to the atrocities of the Taliban against Afghan women. Afghanistan faces the highest prevalence of insufficient food consumption globally, according to World Food Program, and it's only worsening by day. The Taliban bans on women's employment has resulted in an estimated loss of $1 billion in the Afghan economy, according to the UNDP. UNICEF has also warned that the shortage of food can lead and send thousands of other children to malnutrition, and this is while there are thousands admitted to the hospitals for malnutrition already. The security situation remains extremely volatile, although there are reports that the suicide bombings and suicide attacks have decreased comparing to pre-Taliban. However, these numbers are still underreported. There are 167 attacks reported in the year of 2023 already. But again, these numbers are underreported given that the Afghan media do not have the freedom to report on incidents without the approval of the current de facto regime. Here are some updates that are somehow hopeful. Again, I personally don't want to get my hopes high because the Taliban have a history of making promises for women's education, women's rights, but going against them. But recently, the Ministry of Education directed the provincial directorates to distribute the Concours examination forms, that's the university entrance examination forms for girls who have graduated 12th grade. This is while high schools are still closed, universities are still closed, but some believe that this is an indication that the Taliban may resume girls' education and may allow girls to go back to school and universities. In April of this year, Ministry of Education shared a draft document of school uniforms because according to the Taliban, the current uniforms that girls have, and for us it was black outfits and white scarves, that is not Islamic enough for them. So they have their own guidelines for uniforms. And surprisingly, they included uniform guidelines for high school girls. Again, that's seen as an indication that maybe the Taliban are actually working towards opening girls' schools, but some believe they just want to pretend like they want to do so. Our implementing partners in Mazar-e-Sharif have reported that learning centers are opening up, and there are girls, high school age girls, who have started joining these centers again after their closure in December of last year. So those are some hopeful news coming out of Afghanistan, and I would like to be very hopeful, but at the same time, I do want to be prepared for the worst. What if Taliban go back and like they have in the past and decide that they don't want to reopen girls' schools? What I really want us to focus on tonight is how Afghan women continue to defy the Taliban. I do have links here because I plan to email this presentation to all of the participants, so you can have those with the links. You can click on them and read all these amazing stories of amazing Afghan women defying the Taliban even today with all the security risks involved. The first story is of Parasto, a 25 years old Afghan girl who unfortunately couldn't finish university after the Taliban banned women from going to universities. However, she created a group and invited her friends who were either graduates who had graduated from universities or were recently starting university to come together and see what they can do for girls who are not allowed to go to school. They started secret classes for girls, and in Parasto's school, there are 600 students currently across 7 centers in different parts of the country who are seeking an education in underground classes. Another story is of Zarhuna Pamiri, who was also a university student when the Taliban took over, and she couldn't go to university anymore. However, she was able to recently join the Afghanistan Online University with intentions to complete her degree in engineering. A lot of women are also turning to vocational training. The report that I have linked here is from Herat province. Women come together, they learn sewing skills, embroidery skills, to be able to make an earning for the family and contribute to the economy of their families and feed their children, basically. Women are also still continuing with their businesses or starting new ones. An amazing Afghan entrepreneur, her name is Nafas Goljami. She lives in Herat province, and she has recently started a manufacturing center in Herat province of Afghanistan. And she has employed over 100 women where they work to produce jam, pickles, tomato sauce, and process them and send it to market for sales. She plans on expanding her business and employing more women as she goes forward. A lot of other women and girls are also turning to online opportunities as one of the very final venues for them where they can get an education and also find job opportunities. Some humanitarian aid groups and also Afghan youth themselves have come together and formed platforms, online platforms, where they announce jobs for women where they can work remotely, and women apply and try to get jobs. So regardless of how tight the situation is and all of the restrictions that the Taliban are imposing on women, Afghan women still have shown so much bravery and courage, and they continue to pursue their dreams, pursue their goals. And that's just an indication of how committed these women are for a better future for themselves and for their families. So how is Sahar stepping in? For those of us, for those of you here who know about Sahar, before the Taliban takeover, Sahar used to build school buildings for girls in Mazar Sharif, and we also pursued educational programs for girls and working with Voice to encourage men in the society to support girls' education. However, after the Taliban takeover, unfortunately, we had to pause the building of our schools because we do not know what those buildings will be used for, even if we continued building them. So we pivoted slightly from what we used to do, but our mission still remains the same. We partner with grassroots and locally based organizations to create educational opportunities and safe learning spaces for girls and women in Afghanistan, empowering and inspiring children and their families to build peaceful, thriving communities. The values that still keeps us going with all the changes going on in Afghanistan and with every setback that we have experienced since the Taliban takeover is commitment, flexibility, and adaptability. Sahar, since its very early days, has been committed to girls' education and creating bridges between the people of Afghanistan and the US, and we are committed to that mission. We do not plan to step back. There were so many organizations who had to pull out of Afghanistan or decided to pull out of Afghanistan after the Taliban takeover, but that wasn't the case for Sahar, and our mission and the importance of our work was only reiterated to us. The fact that Sahar has been flexible, the situation in Afghanistan still remains very fluid. There are new rulings coming out, new changes happening each day. And really for Sahar to be flexible and find ways to continue working even with the hardest situation is something that I am very proud of. And the fact that we are able to adapt to these changes, remodel, regroup, and find ways to continue our work is something that I hold a lot of pride in and something that I'm proud of my team, our board, and our implementing partners for making it happen. We continue to provide our girls and women with the opportunity, and we will continue to support them in any way possible that we can. And we do not plan to give up on these girls who are trying to hold on to the very last rays of hope that they can see. I wanted to keep it short for the sake.
So, as you heard from Mitra that about updates in Afghanistan and how women are, and it's a mixed story. So I know like you have been hearing a lot of stories about Afghan women on the news, and last 40 years of like how women are like being oppressed and being victim. But there are women, like Mitra mentions, there are very successful women that we hardly hear about their stories, their success stories. There are strong women inside Afghanistan. They are like fighting for their rights, standing up for themselves, and we are like one of the reason not giving up for them, seeing their resilience, seeing their leadership, that they are not giving it up, and they are fighting back with the Taliban. It's not easy. So today I would like to just to give you update, and I know like hearing the news is always gives you an idea. Like the Taliban is, I am the one of the I have the experience of growing up under the Taliban, and it always gives an impression that when you hear about the Taliban, and it's like the situation, the Taliban, my time is different than Taliban this year. There's not a big difference, but it's just like how last 20 years investment and resources have impacted for women and young generation, and they're like really pushing it back to Taliban system. And one thing I see is that for women in Afghanistan is like resilience and not giving up, and for their education. So that's one of the reasons Sahar is still there and always working with the war zone country. It's either makes you resilience or survival, or trying to find a creative way to survive. So that's Sahar is been doing in Afghanistan, trying to find a way to be creative. Sahar been in Afghanistan last 20 years, and always starting for sustainability. Like our main mission and goal is like sustainability, working in the country, working with the people, building schools, providing educational opportunity for girls and boys. And when the Taliban came, it was really heartbreaking for us, because we really built a community and hope for girls in Mazar Sharif mostly. And we graduated like thousands of students, especially the girls, and they had hopes and dreams and future, but it all shattered, and it was heartbreaking to see that. But we did not give up, and we see what are the opportunities we can work with them through grassroots organization. One of the organic way that we continue working with people is supporting the grassroots organization on the country. So we have 3 partners we choose. Like this time, we really be creative, like expanding our programs in Mazar Sharif and Kabul, and trying to see what other provinces that we can reach more Afghan girls. So one of the organization, it's called Afghan Social, Vocational and Agriculture Organization, which is located in Mazar Sharif, and we're working with our former partners that's still there working. And another school is private school, Mazar Sharif. It's in a north part of Afghanistan. And Afghan Relief Organization, it's also one of the organization. They are located in Kabul. So each of these organization has their, if you see them like as last 40 years of war, Afghan people and especially the young generation are very hardworking and also hunger for education. They want to learn, and we are only the providers and just like a backbone and giving the support for them. So we have a program. It's called Still Sisters, which shows that how these girls are getting together and working together and trying to use the opportunity. So this private school in Mazar Sharif is an opportunity for us working with them. The programs we have with them, like Women Empowerment Workshop, Women Health Workshop, each workshop includes like their own topic. The Women Empowerment Workshop has, we work with them, the conflict resolution, mental health, health reproductive, and women's rights, and so many other topics that building women's confidence and being aware of their rights. It's like we always try to, these topics, when we teach them, we try to kind of be aware of the culture like that is in Afghanistan, not to like considering the situation, especially right now. And we also have classes, computer classes, which is Windows, Microsoft package utilizing the internet. Why we have this? Because like, as you, Mitra mentioned one of the slides, that there are women, they're entrepreneur, like they're business women. And these skills are really important for women to have in order to have their homes, like home businesses, or if they want to start their business, like online classes, like online or other opportunities available for them, like English classes, reading, writing, listening, and speaking. Right now, as you see, that the internet and the technology make this world very smaller. What if the schools are banned, if the other opportunity is not available inside the country, how we can use the internet, providing like online classes outside of Afghanistan. That's where preparing the girls for next opportunity that they can use that. These are some of the picture that you see, and it's because like I get a lot of questions from people that when they hear like when they see that, oh, Taliban came, everything is shut down, nothing is possible. I don't think so. Women can get an education, but no, there are possibilities. Like I said, working with the war zone countries, it always makes you creative to seek the opportunities, what we can do to survive or to learn. So the private school has a great facility for our girls, and like they have a library, they have a computer center, and that gives us opportunity to recruit students from public schools, especially the girls who do not have the access to education, or after 6th grade, they cannot go to school. So that's where we're stepping and recruiting girls from public schools and bringing them to school, the private school. And this school's private provides transportation, security. It's very safe in terms of like when they come, when they leave. So what is our objectives? What do we really focus on? So we are trying to provide a safer space for women to come together and express their needs and express their like, especially mental health is one of the huge thing in Afghanistan right now. And I cannot express enough like how much this is important for them, and how much, like when I hear their individual stories, it breaks my heart. But and at the same time, it's not easy for me to keep like hearing the stories, because I have been in that situation before. It is like kind of like seeing my own story repeating again, but at the same time, I see them how strong they are to overcome, and I'm happy that we're providing this opportunity for them to come together, like the girls learn new skills, computer, internet, and encouraging parents to support their girls' education. Even this current situation, we're trying to let the parents know not giving up their girls' education. There is a still possibility that your girls can be be a supportive in the family, and women empowerment, one of our highlight programs, our health workshop. I wish we had more time that I could share this individual stories that I hear for them, like how much change is happening, how much this young generation are willing to change their community, especially the leadership, and the leadership they have and the things they have learned. One thing I would say that when we talk about the leadership for women, we make sure they understand they're, like, especially women, they are a leader. It's they don't have to be in a political group. We make sure, like, when we talk to them, when we say the leadership, the first thing come their mind is men. They say like political, like, presidents, like, all the men is a leader. No, we tell them, like, you can be a leader. You are a leader because as a mother living in the house, like taking care of the house is a leadership skill. So these things are like really encouraging them, building their confidence that they can they can achieve their goals. And health workshop is we cover mental health, health reproductive, family planning. One of the things that our students are very, very interested to learning more about health reproductives. There are some pictures you can see that they are doing some group works and very passionate, and with the risk that they're coming and learning for learning is huge and is very inspiring and encouraging for us to continue.
I'm one of the Fairness and Women Empowerment Workshop. Today, I would like to speak about my journey. I learned a lot of things from here, especially in English and computer subject. Without these subjects, I learned a lot of things in Women Empowerment Workshop. After that, I finished this program. I will teach other girls also that they know also about their rights in their society. I want to become a successful journalist in the future, and also a woman that know about the politics. A woman right means that women and girls have law to decide and know about their future. And freedom means that be free in your country, and women and girls have law to decide about their future, and girls can go to school. Thanks for your watching.
Keep this on the screen so that you can read one of our students' quote that how this program impacted their lives. I will give you a few minutes that's just for you guys to read. So as you heard about the students saying that, like, when I learn, I would like to teach other girls. That's our goal. That's our mission to like our sustainability goal is that how we create the leader on the ground. Like, these girls are not only 20 students, 30 students. These are the, like, it's continuation of like how these girls will like continue our work in the future. Our other programs with in Mazar Sharif underground, tech sheroes. So underground, it's very I relate myself with that because during the Taliban, I did go underground schooling. I did take a risk to go and learning sewing classes. I tried to learn English during that time. So that is really related to me, and also I see an opportunity for girls. So we try to with our one of partners in Mazar Sharif, we started our underground school because we tried to see if we can work with the Taliban Ministry of Education, but we see there is like very difficult with dealing with them. And then we did not wait and that Taliban take this opportunity from us or from the girls. We started underground IT classes, coding classes. So we teach in this class computer, Microsoft, Microsoft Office package, and internet, web designing, and women empowerment workshop and women health workshop. It's something that our main focus is in here is like women empowerment and health workshop, and we are also teaching them IT and coding. Where are the girls are coming in these classes? Like I'm so amazed to see. I'm learning from them the coding. They start like designing website, and they're starting coding classes. They're learning the coding. This is amazing that to see how talented and these girls are, like how the opportunity has been taken from them, and each individual are as a leader in the future. So the small opportunity that we're providing for them, this project, like 6 months or a year project, and they're taking advantage of that and improving their skills. And these girls are like, each one of them are hoping to be study computer science, or they're also trying to learn to study online classes. Program objectives of this program is like creating opportunity, effective skills, computer English classes, preparing girls online education. As I mentioned before, that this skills provide an opportunity for them outside of the country. And women empowerment, this also is, like I said, building a confidence for women, and awareness about reproductive health, which is huge in Afghanistan. And mental health is one of the a big thing and important that we don't talk about it, and it's a stigma. And having these programs helping the girls to get out of their houses and having a space to come and express their needs. This is our underground schools that you see girls are coming. We're having this in the houses. So they have their computers at home. So there are one of the quotes from our underground students. Traits of hope. Our another programs is sewing classes and literacy programs. We had this program like last year for students who learn in this class. We teach them literacy classes, and it's sewing. It was a sewing project and literacy program. So in this program, we had the women from age above 25, like those women who never been to school before, but they had the skill, like sewing skills that they want to learn. And at the end of the project, we gave them the machines that they can start their own home business, like, you know, their home, because in Afghanistan is not like here that when you need a clothes, you order online or you go shopping. And it's that, like in Afghanistan, women are creative to make their own clothes, and that gives them another opportunity for like an income in the house. So that's where we started have sewing projects that women who come in the class, they learn reading and writing at the same time, sewing projects. And at the end of the project, we gave them the machines. One of our students who graduated from this program, she started her own home sewing business, so like making clothes in their neighborhoods. And she was very happy that that business brought some income in her family. So the objective, the goals of this program is girls to learn new skills and become financially independent. Our main goal from all programs objective is like how make women more independent and make them financially, especially decreasing the early marriages. And that's one of the things that when a woman become independent in a family, their family will think that, okay, my daughter or my wife can make income in the house. So that increases the domestic violence, that it decreases the early marriages. And decrease the maternal mortality rate, encourage girls to their families to avoid child marriages. So involving women in technology, involving women in business and entrepreneurship is something that making them more busy and financially independent, where family understand the value of women's education. this is one of the quotes from our students who graduated one of our sewing projects. So that's we are not only as we are working in Afghanistan, in a country with patriarchal society, with like men dominant, it's not easy that looking up only women, but there is we always seek the other side, see other opportunities, how we can balance gender equality. Men as a Partners Change, one of our highlight program before the Taliban we started. And Sahar is the only organization who started educating men in the program. So we started this program before the Taliban, and now we are planning to restart it, especially under the current government. So this will be partnering with our existing partners, having this curriculum managed and a Partners Change in Mazar Sharif. That will be more male students from public school. And the curriculum will be most focused on educating men, how to involving men in terms of understanding, creating a space for men to express their needs, and understanding their rights as a man, and understanding women rights, like what is human rights. And also one thing we should also recognize that men are also victim of domestic violence, victim of war. So we have to see where are the roots of the problem coming. So that is this program, having this kind of programs really creates an opportunity for decreasing the domestic violence and gender equality. For that, we're starting English classes in order to be safer, and then having our programs.
Thank you, Shagufta John. So we have received 2 proposals for the MPC program from 2 different partners. The programs committee within our board is reviewing the 2 proposals to select one and send to the full board for their approval. So that is moving fast, and hopefully we will have the program started before the end of this month. Fingers crossed.
Yes. As I think ending this presentation, I would like you to just not to see the stories that I mentioned. I would like you to see the opportunities and the hopes of these girls, that we're only this group of girls that we are helping, but they are the future leaders and hope for the future of Afghanistan. So thank you.
Thank you, Shagufta John. And while Shagufta